Shit!
Like I'd let you get away. You'll be sliced to ribbons before you ever see the child. You will learn what it means to insult House Dimitrescu.
Lady Alcina Dimitrescu, one of the famous leaders in Resident Evil Village, with her taller-than-life stature, the over-the-top personality, and with the many memes and mods of her character, we know for sure that she's definitely an icon in the Resident Evil universe.
Stupid man thing! You won't live long!
But as we play through Resident Evil Village, we learn so much more about the tall lady, discovering how she came to be, what her powers were, and the role she played while playing as Ethan Winters. So in this video, we'll cover the story of Alcina Dimitrescu, where we delve into her concept design as a character, how she attained her powers, and much more. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and talk about the tall lady.
Oh shit.
There you go. All this for a child who isn't even here.
What the hell do...
You ungrateful, selfish wretch! You come into my house! You lay your filthy man hands on my daughters! And now you even try to steal my property! How dare you! Rest while you can! Because I will hunt you, and I will break you!
So starting off, let's cover her concept design and what inspirations were used to create her character, with the developers stating that her designs are rooted from the likes of Morticia Addams from the Addams family, to Dracula and his brides, perfectly correlating with Alcina and her 3 daughters, and to the eerie design from the Japanese yokai Hachisaku-sama, also known as an 8-foot lady. With the summarization to the background to this Japanese urban legend is a very tall lady that when she takes a liking to a certain man, they would tend to die a few days later, this is a small and interesting connection on how Alcina treats her male victims.
Stupid man thing!
But anyways, as of now, Alcina stands roughly around 9 feet 6 inches tall, taller than a lot of the iconic tyrants that we faced from the previous Resident Evil titles. Also, her long white dress and the dark top hat bears some semblance to the Japanese yokai that we just mentioned earlier, but mixed in with the 1960s new look fashion and the 3 black roses near her heart representing her 3 daughters as stated by the developers. But even with a cleaner and noble looking appearance, Alcina definitely has a dark history behind her, which spans several decades worth, because as of now, we know that Alcina Dimitrescu and her daughters have been a prominent fixture in the village since the early part of the 1900s, with the files stating that her ancestry has been known for the last several centuries, which was seen with the winemaking file stating that the winemaking technique of the Dimitrescu family has been known since the 15th century, which this history also applies with Alcina Dimitrescu and her dark dealings in the 1900s, because with what we've known from the maiden demo and the full game of Resident Evil Village, we learned that Alcina has added ingredients to the winemaking techniques of the Dimitrescu, which we find out that she uses human blood in the process. Though the way she treats her victims are different, the males would be drained of their blood, while the females will become the monsters that we face in Castle Dimitrescu. But even with this concept and background to Alcina, how exactly does she attain her powers, and how did she get so tall? Well, to explain that, we find out, like the other lords in Resident Evil Village, Alcina would also be given a gift from Mother Miranda, which was a Cadeau parasite, granting Alcina amazing regenerative powers, and was able to have an elongated retractable claws. With this file from Mother Miranda stating this exact fact from her medical record, which reads, subject name Alcina Dimitrescu, Cadeau affinity most favorable, brain function normal, regeneration rate is incredibly fast, the subject can heal any external wounds within seconds, and grow her nails into claws in mere moments. Rapid regeneration also means an increase in body size. No, due to hereditary blood disease, the subject must ingest human flesh and blood on a regular basis to maintain regeneration properties. I suspect if the subject's regeneration is not properly balanced, then she may mutate uncontrollably, an unfit vessel for Ava. So with this revelation, we learn about Alcina's power and why she became so tall, also explaining her affinity to consume human blood and flesh, connecting to the Dracula inspiration for her character. And at this point, it's safe to assume that the Godot parasite has granted her a prolonged lifespan, similar to that of Mother Miranda's, which Alcina keeps her younger appearance but having the drawback of needing to consume human blood and flesh to prevent any uncontrollable mutations. Also, this hunger for blood and flesh would also translate with her 3 daughters as well.
Man blood.
So with this background to Alcina's power and prominence for many decades in the region, this would eventually lead up to her role in Resident Evil Village, which we learn that Mother Miranda has ordered her to take part of Rose, with our objective as Ethan was to attain Rose back from the tall lady, because as she plays as one of the main major antagonists in this title, becoming a pseudo-tyrant-like figure that was very reminiscent of Mr. X from Resident Evil 2 Remake, while mixing her very haunting and over-the-top personality, which we learn that she was very protective of her territory and her daughters, yelling out in agony when she learns that we eliminated one of them.
What have you done to my daughter?
Also, we find her diary, which reveals a very insecure part of her role with Mother Miranda and the other lords of the village, which the file states, "We were all called by Mother Miranda to decide the fate of that child's father. Just thinking of that family meeting makes me shudder. To think I am treated like a sister to those miscreants, especially Heisenberg. That riffraff wouldn't know proper manners if it slapped him in the face. I would have sliced him into ribbons if Mother hadn't stopped me. Why? Why does she treat me the same as them? She gave me this castle, obedient daughters, everlasting life, did she not? Am I not her favorite? Am I not special? I need a drink." So after reading this, we confirm that she does have a very hostile relationship against some of the other lords in the village, especially with Heisenberg.
Heisenberg is but a child, and his devotion to you is questionable. Give the mortal to me, and I will ensure he is ready.
Shut your damn hole! And don't be a sore loser! Go find her food somewhere else.
Quiet now, child. Adults are talking.
I'm the child. You're the one who's arguing with Miranda's decision.
You wouldn't know responsibility if it was welded
Oh,
to
keep
that.
glory! One day your head might actually fit your ego!
Hey, don't I get a say in this?
Silence!
My decision is final.
This of course is reciprocated back from his point of view as well.
Lady, supersized bitch. Ugly ass psycho doll. And then moronic freak.
But even with this dynamic between the lords of Resident Evil Village, the highlights that we saw while playing in Castle Dimitrescu, being hunted down by Alcina, suffering her wrath when she finds out what we did to her daughters, all this will culminate in her final mutation, with the developer stating, "Dracula, a motive for Dimitrescu, also mean child of dragon. We went for a dragon vampire design, with this made possible due to a dagger that's imbued with a powerful poison." Also a file that we find also states this, "I heard there was something called the Dagger of Death's Flowers somewhere in this castle. It's apparently an antique from the Middle Ages that's coated in a concoction of poisons from across the continent. It's said to have been crafted to kill demons and monsters. It sounds fascinating, but no one knows where it is." So after reading that, this would explain the results that we see when used against the tall lady that even Alcina's regenerative powers couldn't handle.
You've ruined everything!
So after seeing the mutation, the drastic change of game style and pacing was very evident, because we went from a slower paced stalker antagonist to this larger than life dragon monster, which I understand that they wanted to make a grand scope of boss monster, though maybe there should have been a middle mutation, where we see the hybrid of her first and final form. But regardless, this final fight against Alcina was very fun, where she displays a plethora of moves, from destroying the environments, flying from afar, and to her releasing a swarm of flies, similar to what we saw from the three daughters. Though her main weakness at this point would have been the humanoid body on the back of the dragon monster, which kinda reminds me of Resident Evil 4's El Gigante, where we attack the small portion of a parasite to take down the overall larger than life boss monster. Anyways, what did you guys think about Alcina Dimitrescu and her role in Resident Evil Village? And also, where do you rank her compared to the other lords in this game as well? Please let me know in the comment section down below. Also, if you guys want more Resident Evil content, then please feel free to like and subscribe for more videos like this in the future. Anyways, I just want to say thank you guys so much, and as always, you guys have a great rest of your day, and this is Hey DeVuH, and I'll see you guys in the next video.